Hello, my name is Amantis. Welcome to my channel. You've been listening to Just As Soon by Kevin MacLeod. If you enjoyed that song, I'll be putting the link in the description box below. Right, we're going to be playing Chicken Police Painted Red. The Chicken Police is a point-and-click adventure game, film noir style, if you're into that genre. It's available on multiple platforms, on Steam, on PC, console, and on mobile format as well. I'll put the links in the description box below if you're interested in getting the game. Once again, I highly recommend playing it because it's one of the easier games to get into point-and-click adventures, especially if you can visualize it as a visual novel format. And if you want to try it out for free, there is a free demo that is available on Steam. So if you want to try the game out, you can get the game there first. Try out the demo on Steam before deciding whether you want to get it. But once again, I highly recommend playing Chicken Police Painted Red. Anyway, let's move on and continue with where we've left off in the story.
Hello, Ursula, dear. Oh, what's the rush? Is there something wrong?
Wrong? That dim-witted, insane, ragged old stinky owl. That's what's wrong.
Whoa. It's all right, Ursula. Just tell us what happened.
What happened? You happened. And Wessler's goons. It was supposed to be the only day of the year we could have relaxed a little.
We're sorry, Ursula. You're right.
Like I care, Marty. Tired of this. Tired of the bitter old owl, and I'm tired of waiting.
And?
Never mind. I'm going. This time, I'm going for good.
Hang in there, Ursula. And if there's anything we can do to help...
Anything? Of course there is, my dear. I never want to see your faces again.
Ouch. I'm gonna try to talk to the old owl, all right?
Good luck with that.
Oh, and Ursula, thanks for all you've done for us. With the car.
You know, I'm starting certain to regret it.
That was
Rough,
yeah.
but understandable. I only see Bubo once a year, and even that's way too much.
A lot of people feel the same about us.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, it's a quick recap. We meet up with Ursula at Bubo's place, and we get yelled at, of course, because Ursula would much rather spend some private time and a day off on New Year's Eve. Let's take a look at the piano here.
Do you know the Night Owl Blues, Bubo?
Are you trying to wind me up, McChicken?
Not for the world.
And let's take another look at the skeleton.
How's it going, Papa Bubo?
Very well, thank you. I've lost a bit of weight recently because of my death, you know.
Ah, I see. Sorry to hear that. Get well soon, Papa.
Thanks, son.
One more thing, Paps.
Yes, my boy.
Are you done?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
I couldn't resist doing that. It was just way too funny to not watch. Especially when you get scolded by Bubo. And, right, we were...
I was never so scared as when I was lying here and you were leaning over me, Doc.
Do you mean that time when McChicken shot you?
Yeah.
That was a night to remember.
Ah, don't even mention it. Good old days.
Let's talk to Bubo. Most likely we need to get some information. Okay, once again, the notebook is the detective's best friend, where we can get vital information about the case, suspects or victims, and the locations you will visit. And there has been an update on the game since I last played, so now there are indicators on where we get some new notifications and also new information. As you can see, we can see the number 1 here and exclamation mark. Like I said, it was not there when we last played. And let's take a look at Bubo's profile and a new piece of information we've got. Ursula got really mad at the old owl, but it didn't seem to upset Bubo that much. He is just dead inside. Okay, so let's take a look at where we last were. We came to inquire about the wristband, which came from a corpse that Zip had to hide in the hive on Wessler's orders. We know that Wessler has a murder that he doesn't want anybody to know about. We can ask Bubo a few questions. Over here we can ask him about Ursula, the wristband, and Zip as a rat. Let's go on.
Say, Bubo, about Ursula.
What about her?
Well, that's just it. What if she's not coming back? I'm a little worried about you, Doc. And you know that's not my style.
Well, don't worry, boys. The wind's blowing, the sun's shining.
And Ursula always comes back.
Exactly. There are things in the universe that are unchangeable.
Touching, but you should be prepared for the worst. I thought Molly was coming back too, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I trust Ursula, Sonny. What else can I do?
Well, to be honest, that's all you can do.
And let's ask about the wristband.
What do you know about this wristband, Bubo?
Zip said they gave these to patients in hospitals. That's why we came back to you.
Something similar, yes, but not exactly the same. It's different.
And?
And what?
Well, what do you think? Where's this from?
How the hoot would I know, Sonny? What am I, some kind of psychic? That I put my hands on it and tell you?
Okay, let's try another approach.
Corpse with a wristband.
Do you have any idea why Wessler's men were looking for Zip so hard?
I don't. How should I know? Why should I care?
He had to hide a body. The body of someone Wessler killed. The wristband is from the corpse.
Really?
That rang a bell, old owl.
Well, boys, if I'm right, you're in deep shit.
That's more like it.
Tell us, Bubo.
So, Wessler, the wristband, and a corpse, huh? It looks very much like I know the connection. Or at least I have a hunch.
Out with it, Owlface.
Okay, don't peck me, chickens. Hobart Ibn Wessler has a relative who happens to be a resident at an insane asylum. The band is very likely from there.
Wait, a relative? What kind of relative?
Yeah. You don't know? I thought you were the detectives. Anyway, Ibn Wessler has a twin brother, Albert.
Albert Wessler.
You put it together very skillfully, Marty. Yes, Albert Wessler. He's a madman kept in solitary confinement.
Do you think he's the corpse? But why?
How the hell should I know that?
Thanks, Bubo. If what you told us is true, then this time we'll owe you one.
Will wonders never cease?
We can ask about Albus Thaddeus Wessler.
So, Albert Wessler. Which asylum do you mean, Bubo?
It's got some fancy long name. I don't remember, but I have a brochure. Let me find it for you.
Thanks, Bubo.
Here it is. Let there be peace forever. Mental institution for ill and damaged minds. Quite a beakful.
Where can we find it? I've never heard of it.
It's a good 6-hour drive from Clawville. Maybe more. But you'll find everything in the brochure.
You're the best, Bubo. You finally proved useful.
Whew. Finally? Now get your chicken scratchers out of here while I'm asking nicely. Just one more thing.
What's that, Bubo?
If that someone was really Albert Wessler, the trouble's bigger than you think.
It's always bigger than we think, Bubo. We're used to it.
You don't understand. Ibn Wessler never loved and respected anyone in his life like he did his brother Albert.
So what?
Then the problem's bigger than we thought. A cornered rat bites.
Well, thanks for worrying about us, Doc. But there's no way back from here. Too far, too late.
We're like hounds, old man. Once we've caught someone's leg, we never let it go.
Ooh, not while you're alive, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, goodbye then, fellas. And I wouldn't mind if you never visited me again.
The pleasure was all ours, Doc.
And Zip is a rat.
That rat you mentioned was Zip.
Should I be surprised or what? I knew it was him.
Yeah, we knew you knew.
What did that old raccoon do this time?
Ibn was blackmailing him with something. That's what we wanted to ask you. Do you know anything about it?
I don't care about Wessler's dealings, Sonny. I patch up whoever winds up here, and I don't care if they're cops or gangsters. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Or gangster cops.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh, brother.
Well, we have done a recap from the last episode. Let's take another look at the brochure.
You're the best, Bubo. You finally proved useful.
And we have a number here, 555966, which we'll use. And we have an extra clue. Uh-oh. The wristband is very likely from an insane asylum where Ibn Wessler's secret twin was treated. We have a new profile, Albert. He's a dangerous lunatic is a special feature, and Albert Wessler is Hobart Ibn Wessler's twin brother who is being treated at an insane asylum far from the city, given us a 6-hour drive. Alright, let's take a look at the map and see where we need to go. Our next location is the Hotel Atlas, which will take us to... Or we can go back to the Sweltering now in the Star Club. Or Mullen's Newsstand. Let's go take a look at Mullen's Newsstand and ask Mullen if he knows of...
Tell me, lads, what do you need?
Just your eternal fountain of knowledge.
Probably not. Okay, very likely we will go back to the Hotel Atlas and continue the story.
We had to gather ourselves, take a deep breath, and think over what we knew so far. What the chickens had I got myself into? What had I dragged Marty into? Moreover, what had we pulled the whole city into? This was going to be one of those cases that changed things forever. But I wasn't worried about myself. It didn't matter to me. Too many pieces had been plucked off this old rooster. But Marty's different. He's too good of a bird and too good of a cop to end up like me.
A secret twin brother? Sonny, I'm starting to feel like we're really in a detective novel. A cheap one.
Yeah, but, listen, Marty.
What is it, Boss Bird?
I think it's best if we go our separate ways.
What? Are you joking? I know you have a weak sense of humor, but there's a limit to everything.
I'm not joking, Marty.
Well, I certainly hope you are.
Whatever comes next, you don't need to be mixed up in it. You have someone to go home to.
Guys, damn it, Sonny. Can you hear yourself? What do you think? I endured all this to give up now? What do you take me for? No, pal. You're not getting rid of me so easily.
I just want you to keep your career and your life intact, you moron. Just accept it, shake my hand, and go home. Your wife, Laura's waiting for you.
One more word, Sonny, and I swear I'm gonna bash your beak in. I risked my life more than once tonight. You know why?
No, why?
Because we're a team. We have been a team for almost a decade. I don't care what Blood Boil says or whatever's on a goddamn piece of paper. We're the Chicken Police, Sonny. And we always will be.
I'm sorry. You're right.
We're gonna go to that insane asylum and wrap this shit up fast and clean. Yeah, just like you said, even if it kills us.
Thanks, Marty. Without you, I'd most likely already be sleeping the big sleep.
Birds of a feather flock together, right?
Like you say, partner.
Let's drop this before you start crying on me, okay?
I hope not.
You almost just did.
Clock off, Marty.
That's the spirit, the Sonny I know and hate.
It was a very interesting exchange. I think we can ask him a little bit more about the insane asylum, the Natasha, the corpse, and Zip.
So where exactly is this place?
A few hours drive from here, in the middle of nowhere. It's a creepy old mansion, of course.
You think it's a good idea to go there? What if it's a trap?
I told you, you can still go back.
Oh, wouldn't you love that? No such luck, boss. If I get killed or locked up forever in an insane asylum, that's gonna be on you.
Thanks, pal. I deserved that.
Natasha?
You still trust her?
I never trusted her, Marty.
I mean, you believe her?
I'm sure she was honestly afraid. People don't fake it that easy. But I can understand why she didn't tell us about her former profession.
Or how she knows Molly.
Yeah, that too. And the death of Deborah complicated things even more.
Hey, Sonny, she didn't seduce you, right? I mean, Natasha.
Ah, don't be stupid, Monty. My old ticker hasn't been beating for a long time. Not that way, anyway.
Yeah, alright, boss.
Corpse of a wristband.
So what do you think happened to the corpse?
Probably been eaten. Horrible to think about, but even if half of what they say about the hive is true, starvation, riots, arson, predation.
You're telling me. Makes my feathers stand on end when I think about what goes on in there. And we pretend we don't know about it. As if Roachtown isn't even part of Clawville.
This won't end well. I'm afraid soon Clawville's gonna burn once again, and because of its own foolishness.
Well, that's if another meat war doesn't break out first. 'Cause then, the whole wilderness will burn.
Lovely prospects, eh?
Either way, it was a damn clever move for Wessler to hide the body in Roachtown.
It's the only place no one will ever find it.
Like the belly of a burning ship.
Oh, I think that was an intentional red herring.
Sounds about right.
And we can ask about Zip before we look at the codex entry.
Who'd have thought? I believed that little rat. I thought he'd changed. Idiot.
There's a point when it's too late to change, Monty. His past caught up with him. Whatever he did since then doesn't matter.
Not much.
Exactly. And that's the case with us, too. That's why I won't back down. Even though a voice in my head is screaming right now, leave it all to hell and have another drink.
Maybe we should do that.
Maybe we should.
Let's speak to Marty.
What do you think, Marty?
What? You care what I think? You must have hit your head pretty bad.
Stop fooling around, Marty. I'm serious. So what do you think? About everything?
Well, I think we're in deep shit. But to be honest, Ibn Wessler is in deeper shit.
Do you think he really murdered his brother? But why? And what does it have to do with Natasha and the threats?
Doesn't add up yet. Something's missing. Let's visit the institution and try to find out what we can about this Albert Wessler fella.
Exactly. If he's the dead body, we've got to know what the motive was. If we can't, and if he's still alive, we gotta ask him directly.
And what do you think, Sonny?
I think Ibn, Albert, and Natasha are the three key players in this case, and that all of it has something to do with the brothel.
And the fact that Natasha used to be a... courtesan?
Yeah, that too.
Listen, Sonny, about Molly.
Oh, just forget it, Marty, okay? She's not part of my life anymore. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Forget it. Let's concentrate on the case, and on making it out alive, and helping Natasha, too.
Whatever you say, Boss Bird. So you think Natasha's really in danger?
It could be, or she could even be behind everything.
No, you don't believe that.
I'm not sure what I believe, Monty. Let's see. Things got mixed up at the brothel.
Time for a minigame to investigate the case. Possible suspects. We will put Natasha. I'm not sure. It'll be Ibn. Clues. We've got the twin. Almost, but not quite. Oh wait. Corpse of a wristband. I'm not sure. Natasha's secret. And items would be the wristband. Natasha was a courtesan before. Ibn found out that Natasha was a secret spy. Natasha worked at a brothel and Zai wanted to keep it a secret, but she is with Ibn. I don't think so. Secret all that time. Natasha is a courtesan before. Natasha is a secret lover of Zip. Probably not. I wouldn't say that Natasha was a secret lover of Zip. Let's see, shall we go with... Zavas wanted to keep it a secret, but she's with Ibn. Nope. Ibn found out Natasha's secret spy all that time. I wouldn't think so. I'll probably go with B. Nope. Or with A. Let's see. Maybe B. Or maybe a C.
Natasha used to work there, that's obvious. And Ibn wanted to keep that a secret.
And we have the wristband.
A secret, it seems. Somebody else had to pay for.
Zip once killed someone to keep this a secret on Ibn Wessler's orders. Wristband is the key, and that evidence is that Zip killed someone because of Natasha's secret. Zip stole the wristband from Ibn Wessler, Zip dealt with the body, and kept the wristband to himself. Or we go with D.
Somebody died for that secret. Zip hid the body, but he kept the wristband.
And we have... Let's see, we're gonna go with... I'm gonna go with the corpse of a wristband. Maybe Wessler's twin. Pull this out.
Who could it belong to?
Albert Wessler, the resident of an insane asylum, someone from the royal family. Ibn Wessler was just a puppet of Zavas all along. The dead body was Ibn Wessler himself, but then who was the real killer? There was no body, the whole thing is just a hoax, and Zip was behind all of the charade. We'll go with Albert Wessler.
The dead body was almost certainly Albert Wessler, a resident of an insane asylum. But why did he have to die?
Well, well. Let's look at... No, let's look at places. We have unlocked the Insane Asylum, which is a mental institute with a ridiculously long name and a ridiculously long history. According to the pictures, it looked just like the castle of the vampire bats in those cheap horror movies. Oh, well, it does, when you look at it that way. And let's take a look at the codex, see what new codex we've got. The Meat War. The Great Meat War was the biggest and most bloody conflict in the known history of the wilderness, ranging from 822 to 849. In the beginning, it only affected Altera, the two-headed continent, but in its later years, it spread to 12 colonial provinces, including all of Clawville's 4 colonies. During the Meat War, about 80 to 90 million animals died, and after the war, 27 species were declared extinct. That sounds horrible. Okay. And we can't travel anywhere at this point, but what we can do is give...
You're the best, Bubo. You finally proved useful.
555-966 a call. Alright, everybody, let's do this. 555 and 966.
Hello, you've called the Let There Be Peace Forever mental institution for ill and damaged minds. What can I do for you, sir, or madam?
Well, I'd like to inquire about a patient who I believe is being treated at your institution. His name is Albert Wessler.
I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out that information if you don't have the password given to relatives. Do you have one?
Unfortunately, I don't have that. I'm not a relative. I'm calling from the Clawville Police Department.
Oh, I see. In that case, officer, advise you to visit our institution personally. Our director and I would be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, miss. I guess I'll do that.
We'll welcome you with open arms, sir. Have yourself a beautiful starlit night.
Oh, thanks. Goodbye.
See you soon.
I have to admit, that actually sounded kind of creepy, especially coming from a mental institution.
We have to go there.
Ah, the thought gives me goosebumps.
Chicken bumps aren't good enough for you?
Ha ha ha.
Alright. This is blacked out, so let's see what we actually can do. Ay ay ay. Should we give Lewis a call? 555 932. Eh. Well, I guess he's still out enjoying his night. But if we're not able to go there, then maybe we should speak to Marty again.
So, I get the couch?
It'd be better if I called Lewis. He'll open up a room for you to sleep in.
Whew, great idea.
I don't think Lewis is home, but we'll give it a try anyway.
Hey, Lewis, it's me again.
Oh, hello, Sonny. What's up?
Were you sleeping, pal?
Me? Oh, I wasn't. Anyway, I'm always at your service.
Would you open up a room for Marty?
Naturally, Sonny.
Thanks, Lewis. I'm not even gonna say it.
I will. You owe me one. Again.
Yeah.
Well, looks like Marty gets to stay. Let's talk to Marty.
Thanks for everything, pal. Truly.
Don't mention it, Sonny. If it weren't for you, nobody would have tried to kill me with a Tommy gun or set fire to a ship with me in it.
Heh, how lucky you are, huh?
Damn right.
Okay, finally we can go to the insane asylum. That's the only place where we can go to right now. Are you excited, everybody? Alright, let's go.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago. Like a miner or a soldier. Empty, dead tired. Then I saw Tessa, my darling little daughter. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly. But she wasn't real. Just the ghost of a memory. I'm here, I cried. But all I heard was laughter. Not hers. Who's there? Suddenly, she appeared. Natasha. Just stood there laughing. But her eyes were cold. Then she said something. Painted red. Painted red. Painted red. That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more. I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go home and forget about all of this. Of course, I stepped on the gas instead. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything good, but this...
Ooh, just like a horror movie.
I was thinking the same.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Let's hope so.
Well, we've unlocked an achievement out of the past. It really looks very creepy. Let's take a look at this weird mural that's very colorful compared to the rest of the Asylum. Ay ay ay. This is most likely the Fox King giving some kind of golden food, and the sun basking in the glory of the sun, with all the, maybe not all, I don't see any bugs here, but at least with most of the other species holding hands. It does look very weird. Let's see what Sonny has to say.
This picture...
It's very...
special?
Oh, it's special, right?
This picture...
It's very...
special?
Ay ay ay. Looks like we can't get anything else out of this picture. So let's take a look at the surroundings. There's a window here. There is a resident, a nurse, and the stairs. It does look pretty creepy. Let's look out the window.
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
It could be a reason why the insane asylum was dislocated 6 hours away from anywhere. Ay ay ay, look at this resident here.
This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, no. The poor devil.
Ay ay ay. King of Jazz in the mental asylum. This is giving us the creeps. Alright, let's speak to the nurse. Let's take a look at the nurse. There's a giraffe.
Ah, like an angel from heaven, isn't she?
Yeah, half of her's still up there, I think.
That's rude.
Oh, boo-hoo.
That is true, half of her is probably still up there. Let's speak to the nurse.
Of all the great wild ones,
Greetings, miss.
is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you, the chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumey, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles when I was a little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God, oh God, oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Well, we have some new personal information and police squad as an achievement. First we'll have a look at the nurse giraffe. Her name is Miranda the Nurse. Special feature, full of life, full of hope, and full of almost everything. and she is a big fan of us, unfortunately. Well, given that she was pretty excited to meet the chicken police. An overly nice nurse we met behind the desk of the asylum. Her name is Miranda, and she's an embarrassingly huge fan of the chicken police. Well, time to speak to her first.
Sorry, but I still can't believe it's really you.
Neither can we.
You can't imagine how wonderful it is that I can help you in one of your cases. Does this mean it will become a new book? And maybe I will be in it?
Miss, those books aren't really...
Don't even tell me. No, I don't want to know. Let it be a surprise instead.
No, I didn't mean...
Leave it to me, Sonny. I'm good at this. Thank you, miss. Your words are very flattering, and we are honored.
No, I thank you. I'll never forget this day.
We won't either, that's for sure.
We're happy to bring you joy, miss. Anytime.
Alright, let's ask her a few questions. What can we ask her? We can ask her about the insane asylum first.
Say, miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty. Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff, and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
Dr. Quetzal. Let's ask him more about this Dr. I can't pronounce that name. Quetzalcoatl.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho... what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet, other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like, Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so.
Well, looks like we can ask about the wristband.
What can you say about this, miss? Have you, seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the chicken police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler. The patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
We can ask a little bit more about Albert Wessler.
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
Alright. We have a new person in our notebook. Dr. Quetzal. Dr. Sesuus Quetzalcoat. Green Tree Python. Special feature, cold, distant, professional, and he gives me the creeps. The professor is a real polyhistor. Scientist, writer, philosopher, and who knows what else. Well, I guess we'll find out later. Maybe we'll take a look at the corridor
We
here.
should go to reception first. Let them know we're here.
It doesn't matter how big a star you once were. Ending up lonely and crazy in a rotting insane asylum in the middle of nowhere is like the universe restoring its balance.
That was very poetic of you, Marty. Almost deep. Careful you don't drown.
Cluck you.
And
That was very poetic of you, Marty. Almost deep. Careful you don't drown.
Cluck you.
okay, let's take a look at the stairs. Maybe we should go up.
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall until the last door.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly. Great wild ones, you scared the hell out of me.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell, and birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Well, we have some new information about Albert. From what we gather, the nurse has told us that he's disappeared. We might have a bingo. Albert Wessler has disappeared from the asylum. And do we have more information from Quetzal? We have his full name. And he does give us the creeps. Right, let's look at around the room first. We shall look at the desk.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, cluck up.
He's turning off philosophical on us. Let's look at the windows.
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Dr. Quetzal could easily be just as insane himself.
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense.
And we probably don't have other things to click on. Alright, let's go to look at Dr. Quetzal.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
A word with Dr. Quetzal.
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Quetzal, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from
the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Well, can ask him some questions now.
So, what do you want to know, gentlemen?
Let's see.
We have a list here. Albert Wessler, Insane Asylum, and Madame Zavas.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time. His first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms, Mr. Santino.
Well, we can question him. Insane Asylum?
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Clawville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance.
Seems to be a family occupation. Let's ask about Madame Zevas.
Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zevas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Yeah, we can see why this is a creepy place. Given this used to be
Is this cell like...
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except there are even bigger ones than this.
As I was saying, we can see why this is a creepy mansion. Alright, let's look at the codex. Let's look at the new entry in our codex, the half-century occupation. Since its foundation, an attempt to conquer Clawville has only been made once. The half-century occupation started in 622 and lasted until 677. During this time, the Hara Empire took over all of Clawville's territories except its colonies, which in the end, with the help of Swalasso and Valvoslavia, took back control over Clawville. And we have a new information from Dr. Quetzal. The professor's family has governed a mental health facility and its estate for more than 100 years. Quite a heritage, eh? Alright, let's... Have any more questions? Nope, let's start the questioning.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
Okay, he doesn't like us very much on the detective meter, and we have mysterious as the primary impression. So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Well, we have a new impression. Dr. Quetzal is addicted to details. we'll go with, let's see, what kind of special, or did Ibn Wessler threaten you? Let's go for what kind of special.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
Oh, okay, let's see. Do you think he was a threat to others? How did you see Albert when you first met? Well, how did Albert relate to you? He's a daydreamer. Well, let's go with number 2.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Well, well. Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Okay, so Albert could just walk in and out. How could you let Albert leave this place? And when and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time? You're keeping some things from me. Let's go with number 3.
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him?
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So you already knew about that.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
Well, he's confused. And we have seen that painting before at Natasha's place. Let's see, how did Albert tell you how he felt? Or did Albert left on many occasions? Did Albert tell you about his relationship? Let's go with the first one.
Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha?
Only in superlatives, as if he wasn't talking about a real person, but an ethereal being, about an angel or a demon, something that is not of this world.
And what did you think about his fantasies?
We are in an institution where almost everyone is hallucinating on a daily basis, Mr. Featherland. It didn't really bother me, but the fluctuations of positive and negative were more disturbing.
Thanks, Doc. I didn't understand a word, but I think I get the point.
And we've got... So Albert left on many occasions.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous?
Albert was hurting himself, and on one occasion he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus, confused.
Well, maybe it's not as easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds? You didn't believe Albert had an accident. The two fellows who brought Albert back, well, that's not the important one, so let's go with the first one.
Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
I'm not that kind of doctor, Mr. Featherland, but even I could determine his tongue was either cut out or bitten off, and his eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
But there's no doubt it wasn't an accident.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
I totally agree.
Aye. Pull yourself together. Was Albert's condition after the incident? What do you think happened? Well, let's go for the first one.
Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident?
Mind your tone, Detective.
Sorry, Doc. I can see you're disturbed by these memories.
How could I not be? I'm not a monster. We're talking about a mutilated animal here.
So, what was he like after the incident?
Even more silent than ever. No surprise, I suppose. He was not only silent in words, but also in his soul and spirit.
What do you mean by that?
He never painted anything again, and his seizures completely stopped.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear? We're almost there, guys.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too, so he couldn't even write.
Do you think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Only got a focus accuracy of 60. Well, we know that Albert Wessler has disappeared, and we have a hunch about what could have happened to him. That was quite a gory and eerie condition to the conclusion to end up in. Right, let's take a look at the clues that we've got. We've got some more important information from Albert. Albert's brother, Ibn, took him out of the asylum on several occasions to paint that fateful picture of Natasha. I think we have a motive, gentlemen. Looks like they're drilling upstairs, so I apologize for any noise that you hear in the background right now. Let's take a look at people, and we have more information on Dr. Quetzal. He is cold, reserved, and endlessly professional in his own field, but the thing that happened to Albert even got a rise out of him. No surprises there, I think. How about for clues? What we'll do is we'll go for people and flip backwards. Albert Wessler disappeared. We have a hunch about what could have happened to him. Now the main question is, we know that Albert seems to have been killed, but also we also know that he's also been the one who painted Natasha's painting.
It's a piece of a painting. Judging by how well it was hidden, I'm sure this is what Natasha wanted to show us.
It could be. This could provide a massive clue. Let's go backwards. Maybe we'll talk to Miranda a little bit more.
Please, I'm at your service.
Thank you, miss.
Maybe we can ask Miranda more questions. Apparently not. Maybe we can talk to Quetzal again.
That's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
accident. Ha! We didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us, horribly mutilated, he was different.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different, but not like this. Albert was a different person.
We believe you, Doctor. So, can we take a look at Albert's cell?
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in exceptional circumstances.
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
Well, that's, surprising.
I've never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly that, yeah. Let's take a good look around. I'm sure we'll find some answers here. I can almost smell them.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil, aging paper, slight smell of rat, and great expectations.
What the dickens?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Boss Bird.
Alright, well, okay, I'm gonna be ending the session here for now. Due to the noise that is starting to come from the neighbors. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this this episode of The Chicken Police Painted Red. We found some very, very incredible mysteries, a few mysteries that have been solved, and a few truths that came from Ibn Wessler. Anyway, thank you everybody for staying with me to play Chicken Police together, and I'll see you next time.